welcome back to OT Sports. Today we got college football week 0 rankings here. So I'm gonna do like a full in-depth prediction video probably this Saturday, in sometime in the morning around, but hopefully I can get it out before the Notre Dame game kicks off. I think it kicks off at 1:30, which will kick off the entire college football season. And I'm really excited. It's been a long time coming. I've been waiting for it for ever since it ended with Georgia blowing out TCU last year. But we're back. We got the week 0 rankings. And yeah, so this is not a prediction video. This is just how I would rank them as of right now. All the teams at 0 and 0. And yeah, the full-on prediction video will come Saturday. That will be a pretty big video. I'll go through probably all the ranked teams, their schedule, and then what I think their record will be. So, so yeah, let's just get right into it. And just full disclaimer, real quick. I try to make these a little bit interesting. I didn't want to copy and paste ESPN ones, so I switched things up, and these are just my opinions. So, you know, enjoy. So, coming in at the number one team, as much as this pains me to say it, I have Michigan as the number one team going into this next season. And when you take a look at their team, what what is their like? I really don't see any downsides with them. They got the quarterback, JJ McCarthy's great, the best running back duo in the nation with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. The receiving room, maybe that's where you point to the problem, but even then, they're still very good. Um, Offensive line, one of the best in the countries, and then they have one of the best defenses in the country. Coaching is great, and yeah, it's hard to see. It's hard to see their flaw here. Yeah, I don't know. I just love this Michigan team. Um, they I don't know. They just look like the best team in my eyes. Number two, this is where most people would go with number one team, and rightfully so. I mean, they've won the last 2 years, and they're hoping to three-peat. I think for the first time ever. I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but or the first time in a while, I guess. But Georgia, I have at number two. They're uh, similar to Michigan. You can't find many places to look and point. That's where it could go wrong. Now their running back room is a little bit weaker, but it's not like horrible by any means. It's still it's above average. I mean, at Georgia, they always produce good running backs. They always find good running backs. The only question, I mean, their defense is still going to be elite, probably top three in the country. They have the best tight end in college football. They got playmakers on the outside at wide receiver. But the only thing I'm a little bit concerned about Georgia is their new quarterback. I believe his name is Carson Beck. I'm not really sure how good he'll be, but they got everything for him. Like, he has everything he needs to succeed. There's like, yeah, it's just if he is bad, then that could be a downside for Georgia where they aren't the number one team as they have been for the past 2 years in a row. Um, but I mean, number two, I mean, you can complain, but like number two is good for me with Georgia, and I know most people have it at one, but I mean, I have it at two. I don't know what to tell you. So coming in at number three, we got my team, Ohio State, and looking at this team, this is a little bit of a I'm a little bit worried. Similar to Georgia, I'm a little bit worried about quarterback. They haven't named their starting quarterback yet. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. people always say if you have two quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. You got to have your guy, and Ohio State doesn't have that right now. Now, Kyle McCord and Devin Brown are fighting for the starting job, but like you gotta have your guy. I don't know if this is a strategy um, against Indiana week one. I mean, you're not gonna lose to Indiana week one, so I don't understand it. But yeah, when you look around, running back, there's loaded wide receiver, probably the best wide receiving. Well, no, it is the best wide receiver core in the country. They got, um, in my opinion, they have the two best receivers in college football. Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously number one, and then Emeka Ibuka is, in my opinion, the second best guy in the country. So their offensive line, the tackles, it's a little bit worrisome, but other than that, their defense is going to be a lot better this year than it was last year. They have their two linebackers returning, their DBs, they're all getting older. They were very young the past 2 seasons. They're starting to get a little bit better. The defense was, and then they have JT Tumiloa on the defensive line. He's going to be a stud first round pick probably. And they got a lot of recruits at just everywhere. I mean, it's Ohio State, but the quarterback situation does worry me, and they have a tougher schedule. It's not like anything crazy, but at Notre Dame, at Michigan, at Wisconsin, all gonna be tough games, and then they have Penn State at home. It's nice to have that game at home, but Penn State's still a great team. Coming in at 4, I have LSU. Now, this may come to a shock to many people, but I don't know, man. I'm really high on LSU this year. I just I Jaden Daniels at quarterback. He's gonna be great. I mean, when you look at this team, it's not as good as the Joe Burrow led team, but the defense is spectacular. Wide receivers great, quarterback great. Uh, I mean, they're just good everywhere. Like, I don't know. I'm really high on this LSU team. I think they're gonna be a very good team this year. Moving into our next set of teams, this is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. At number 5, I have the Alabama Crimson Tide, and again with them, I don't know if they're gonna be that good this year. Um, I mean, they will be good, but I don't know how good they will be, I should say. Their quarterback situation, I don't know what's going on there. This is not the most talented Alabama roster we've seen. We've definitely seen more. This is probably on the weaker side in recent memory. But their defense is looking good. They got Kool-Aid McKinstry at corner. He's going to be top 5 player in college football. The running back is good for them. They got, I mean, they're always talented. They're always going to be talented. I have them at 5 here. But I do have some worries with them. Um, yeah. Number 6, USC. They have the best quarterback in college football, but their defense is not anything special. It's not great. Their offense is probably going to be number 1 or 2 in the country, but their defense is not looking too good, and I think their offense is going to have to carry them to wins most of these games. I think they're going to have to score over 30, maybe even 35 or more a game, which they're very capable of doing, but I don't know. You got to have at least a decent defense. You can't just rely on your offense every single game. That's my word with USC, but number 6 is still a very good ranking. Florida State at 7. I'm high on Florida State. I don't know what it is. I just like. They're back, man. They've been bad for a while. They finally back to being good. Their quarterback Jordan Travis, he's gonna be great. He was great last year. He's going to get even better. They got a lot of talent. Their defense is going to be good. Their offense is going to be good. Offense maybe a little bit uh, not as good as their defense, but still just very good team. They do have that week 1 game versus LSU, which is one of the best games of the year we get at week 1. So that should be a phenomenal game, and I'm interested to see who comes out winning that. Florida State actually has it at home, so that could be a pretty good advantage there against LSU. Coming in at number 8, I've got Penn State. They could be really good. They could be really bad again. They got a new quarterback, Drew Aller. He's supposed to be really good, but he is young. Their defense is looking good. Their wide receivers are a little bit weaker than normal, but their running back's still going to be good. And yeah, just an all-around very good team. I think Penn State has a chance to win the Big Ten next year, but this year I'm a little bit more hesitant just because of all the young players they have on the team. Coming in at number 9, Tennessee. I'm high on Tennessee. I like Joe Milton. Is that it? I'm pretty sure that's his name. At quarterback, he's going to be a stud. He can throw the ball 80 yards. Their receiving core is amazing. Now, their defense is a little rough. That's where I'm concerned. And they could definitely fall apart. I wouldn't be shocked, but I don't know. I just like Tennessee. I like how their roster is looking, and I have them here at 9. Number 10, I got Texas. I'm another team I'm a little bit more high on than others. They probably have the most deep quarterback room in college football with Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning. Now, once Arch Manning gets to be playing, I believe Quinn Ewers is starting, so once Arch Manning gets in there, maybe next year, well, I think it will be next year, then they are scary. They have potential to win it all. He's going to be phenomenal. But their running backs have taken a step down from last year. Now they had Bijan Robinson and Roshan Johnson. Bijan drafted in the top 10 of the draft, and then Roshan going to my Chicago Bears in a later round. I don't remember exactly which one. Their defense is a little bit shaky, but not. It's solid. Their wide receivers are great, and yeah, they just have a pretty solid team playing in the Big 12. I'm not gonna say if I expect them to win it or not. That we'll save that for Saturday. Moving to for Saturday's vid. Moving to number 11, Washington, and now that I'm looking at it, I probably should have had them higher. I feel like there is a little bit of a drop off after the top 11. Well, actually, I won't say that. After the top 15, I think there's a little bit of a drop off. I think all these teams are very closely packed this year. That's why I'm so excited for this year, because really anyone could win it all. I wouldn't be shocked if any of these top 15 teams made the playoffs. Really. So yeah, but Washington, this is a very good Washington team. Probably the best we've seen. Maybe even better since the playoff team 2016-17. I don't remember exactly the year, but yeah, their offense is loaded. They're going to have one of the best offenses in college football, and their defense is pretty solid too. I'm expecting a big year from them. Clemson at 12. I'm a little bit lower on Clemson than everyone else. And that is their wide receiver room isn't as good as usual. I'm not even sure who their quarterback is. I believe it's the one from last year, but I'm not positive. I don't remember his name. But I don't know. Their defense should be solid, but their offense and defense are both going to be solid. Nothing like jumping off the board though. They could definitely win the ACC. They got Florida State competing with them though. That could be tough. And then they do have Notre Dame. They have to play them. That will be a tough game for sure. North Carolina is a good team. South Carolina is a good team. So they got some good teams on their schedule. And obviously, we'll like I've been saying, we'll go through the predictions on in the Saturday vid. But yeah, moving on to Oregon at 13. Very high on Oregon this year. I think they're going to be a very good team. Definitely can win the Pac-12. Their offense is going to be loaded this year. One of the best offenses in the country, and then their defense, not too bad. Nothing special, but you know, they got they got the team to do it. They could definitely be a playoff team in my eyes, and they still have the best jerseys in college football. So, I mean, there you go. You got that. Utah at 14, another team out of the Pac-12. I think could have a really good year. The Pac-12 is actually very loaded this year. It's sad that it's going to be their last year, but you know, that's just how it goes. But yeah, Utah is they're gonna have one of the best offenses and one of the best defenses. I think they could be very solid. Maybe they should have been higher. I'm not sure, but I have them at 14 here. Notre Dame at 15. Um, I might have them a bit too high, but I don't know. I think their defense is gonna be really good this year. The offense might be a little slower, but they're kind of that. They've never really had a very high powered offense. Like they're kind of a slower paced team. I feel like I think they have a shot at making the playoffs. Um, yeah, I could definitely see it. At 16, we got Oregon State. This actually, I'm gonna say the top 16 have a shot at making the playoffs. I feel like there's a little bit of a drop off after. Because Oregon State, I'm very high on. I think their offense is going to be one of the best. I think their offense and defense probably could both be top 15 realistically. I mean, their wide receivers are a little bit lacking, but the rest of the team is just very solid. Kansas State at 17. Um, this is a team where coming off of a great year last year, they did get blown out in the bowl game against Alabama, and they've lost some talent for sure. Quentin, or no, not Quentin Johnson. Deuce Vaughn is gone. I believe they lost some guys on defense, and yeah, their defense is gonna be not the best this year. Their offense will be pretty good, but nothing like too special. I think they have a very solid year, and I don't think they can make the playoffs, but I've kind of been saying after the top 16, I don't think anyone else has a shot at making the playoffs. Maybe Ole Miss is like a long shot, maybe Wisconsin, but yeah, I don't know. Okay, so moving on to the aforementioned Ole Miss at 18. Their team with Lane Kiffin, um, they're looking to have a pretty solid year. I like their team this year, and I have them here at 18. Pretty solid team. TCU at 19, and I'm not really sure what to think this year. They're definitely losing a lot of guys from last year. Quentin Johnston's gone. Max Duggan's gone. They're gonna have guys from their defense gone. So TCU's losing a lot of talent, but hopefully they can still have a decent year. But I'm not expecting a national championship appearance for them. They do run the weird 3-5-3 defense. It's really weird, but yeah, I'm not expecting a season on the level of last season, but hopefully they can still do at least okay. Wisconsin at 20, and Wisconsin is one of those teams I think uh, could have a pretty good season this year. Their offense is looking to be very good, and their defense too. I think they're looking to have a really solid year this year. Their wide receivers are a little bit lacking, but if their defense is back to the caliber it's been in the past. They could definitely, they could for sure win the Big Ten West, and then maybe give Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State a run for their money in the championship game. But yeah, I think Wisconsin will have a pretty solid year this year. So I have them here at 20. 21, North Carolina. They got Drake May. He's their guy. Their offense is looking to be very good this year. And then, not really sure about their defense, but um, the ACC isn't too stacked of a conference this year. I mean, you got Florida State, Clemson, and then Notre Dame will be playing in there. So I guess it's pretty good. But no no Power Five conference is bad. So um, Texas A&M at 22. Now they are an interesting team. I feel like they kind of get overrated every year. But their defense is looking to be very good. They had a historic recruiting class last year, one of the best ever. Hopefully that can transfer in, or not transfer in, uh, develop into a very good team this year. Their offense is going to be a bit slower, but their defense is going to be top tier. And yeah, I mean, playing in the SEC, they have a very tough schedule. They got Alabama, Auburn, at Tennessee, at Ole Miss, at LSU. Those are all tough teams. At Miami, even could be a tough game. Arkansas could be a tough game. South Carolina is a tough game. They have a very tough schedule, and I don't know if they, I don't know if they have a shot at winning the SEC, but they could definitely upset some teams and win a few win a few games here and there. Be a pretty good team. I got them here at 22. Oklahoma at 23. Not really sure what to think about Oklahoma. They're kind of a big question mark for me. Um, yeah, I don't know about them. Iowa, they have a shot at winning the Big Ten West. It's either them or Wisconsin, in my opinion. Maybe Minnesota, but I think it's between these two. Iowa's defense is always going to be top tier, probably be top five. Their defense is always spectacular. Their offense, not so much, but you got to have a good defense in the Big Ten if you want to win. And then Tulane, our only Group of Five team here in the top 25, and I think they deserve it coming off the bowl win against USC last year. And yeah, I think they deserve it. They're very high powered offense, the best Group of Five team this year, and I snuck them in here at 25. So yeah, that's gonna be the week zero rankings, or top 25. We'll do this every single week, or at least try to. But we should be able to get it done every week. As I mentioned, Saturday we'll have the full season predictions. We'll do a record prediction for each team in on Saturday, so in 2 days. We'll probably even sneak in a couple more teams. I'll just let you guys know who was close to making this, but came up a bit short. South Carolina, Texas Tech, UCLA, Colorado, Pitt, Kentucky, Arkansas, and Kansas. Those were all teams I considered, but ultimately I just couldn't put them in the top 25. South Carolina was almost in there, but they were probably the closest. But I put Oklahoma in instead of them. Or not Oklahoma, Tulane. Sorry, I put Tulane in instead of them. So yeah, South Carolina, Texas Tech, UCLA, Colorado, Kentucky, Arkansas, Pitt, and Kansas. Those were the teams that just barely missed the cut. And yeah, I'm excited to watch college football this year. It should be pretty fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. My Discord's linked in the description. So is the Twitter or X, whatever. whatever it's called. And yeah, we'll see you guys Saturday with that full season uh, preview.